I was so flabbergasted by the utterly unbelievable situation that my anger turned to sheer disbelief. Harry and I had known each other since college. We kept in touch after graduation, but remained just friends. Our romantic relationship only began recently. Harry suddenly started showing interest in me, and then proposed out of the blue. I didn't dislike Harry, and thought it might be nice to become a couple if that's how things were going. But on our wedding day, I was in for a shock. Harry's mother had dressed his ex-girlfriend Taylor in a wedding gown. I was dumbfounded. Unbelievably, Harry was delighted to see Taylor. His parents said, "We always wanted Harry to marry her." Taylor replied coyly, "Oh, don't say that, it's not fair to his wife." She glanced at me with a smirk. I was so infuriated that I was about to leave with my angry parents. But then my parents made a suggestion. "My name is Juliet. I'm a 40-year-old office worker, still single. I have a close friend who transcends gender, a man named Harry I met in college. Harry's a man, but he's a good friend to me. My female friends often tease me, you two must be dating, right? You act just like a couple. Come on, admit you're really together." But I've never seen Harry as a romantic partner. He's a good man who would surely treat a woman well. But to me, he was just one of my friends. When I checked with Harry to be sure, he firmly said, "I don't think of you romantically either." So we had continued on as friends all this time. That changed when Harry said, "I want to get married soon." I'm serious. I'm not getting any younger, I want kids, and I want to put my parents' minds at ease. Oh really? Do you have someone in mind? What's she like? Well, it's you. I want to marry you, Juliet. I was utterly flabbergasted. After that, I started to see Harry in a new light. It's not that I was planning to stay single, but I certainly hadn't expected Harry to say something like that. I never imagined he had been thinking that way. But Harry is kind to women, and we could probably make a good family together. We're both turning 40, my parents are saying they want grandchildren, so maybe it's time to say goodbye to the single life? I wonder what Harry's mother will say. I know her, but I'm nervous about the formal marriage greeting. After that, Harry and I officially became a couple and started by living together. Once we got the hang of cohabitation, we decided to meet each other's parents. Today was the day I was going to meet Harry's parents. "Thank you for always taking care of Harry," I said politely. "Oh Juliet, come on in." "Well, the outcome is obvious, but if you're okay with that, then come in." Outcome? What outcome? I wondered as I entered the house. Of course Harry's mother knew me, and I had spoken with her before. So there was no need for extra nervousness, but I still felt butterflies about formally announcing our marriage. However, when I entered the living room, I was shocked. Since we were announcing our marriage, I knew Harry must have told them already. So I understood why his parents were there, but there was also an unfamiliar woman present. Harry doesn't have any sisters. Who was this woman? A cousin perhaps? Since Harry was calmly continuing the conversation, I assumed this woman must be a relative of his. Harry's mother said, "I'm sorry Juliet, but don't you think Taylor would be better than her? Taylor is so thoughtful, and I can't approve of him marrying someone who's played the field so much." I was stunned. Huh? Taylor? Who is this person, really? Since they were pushing her to marry Harry, she couldn't be a relative. And I'm not someone who's played the field. If they were going to object to the marriage, why did they allow us to live together? Harry, marry me instead. I'll cook you much better meals than that woman. Taylor smiled sweetly. If Harry had been the kind of man to firmly refuse her here, I wouldn't have backed down or been so confused. But Harry said with a grin, well, this is quite a dilemma. I guess I'm quite the ladies' man. Oh, did I introduce you, Juliet? This is my ex-girlfriend Taylor. We dated in college. I see. Well, Harry certainly does have some attractive qualities, but wasn't today supposed to be about announcing our marriage? Why on earth is his ex-girlfriend here so casually? Talk about a farce. And Harry was the one who proposed to me, so why is his ex here like it's no big deal? I really don't understand. What is going on here? My head was spinning. I felt less anger towards Taylor, Harry's ex-girlfriend, than bewilderment at Harry and his family for acknowledging her presence. Harry, we're getting married, right? I asked the man beside me tentatively. Oh, right. Mom, Dad, I'm marrying Juliet. What? Taylor would be fine. She's prettier and a better cook. I'm sorry, Juliet, but Harry should marry Taylor. I recommend Taylor. In the end, that day's discussion wasn't about my future with Harry, but about which of us he should choose, me or Taylor. Harry maintained an ambiguous attitude throughout, giving only vague responses that left me unsettled. On the way home, I berated Harry, hey. I took the day off work because you said we were going to discuss our marriage. So why was your ex-girlfriend the star of the show? Calm down. It's fine, I'm going to marry you. I can't believe this. I knew you could be indecisive, but your ex-girlfriend. Your parents are out of their minds too. If they're going to recommend your ex, why did they allow us to live together? My anger wouldn't subside. On my next day off, I told Harry, who was watching TV, I'm going out shopping for a bit, and went to my parents' house. My parents knew about Harry too. I told them about what had happened at Harry's parents' house the other day. I explained the situation to my retired parents. Don't you think it's bizarre? Or am I the one who's crazy? What do you think? Yes, it's completely unreasonable. If that's how they feel, there was no point in allowing you to live together, my understanding mother replied. Exactly. I responded immediately to my mother's supportive words. Then my father, who had been listening silently, said as I was leaving, leave it to me. After that, Taylor kept trying to forcibly meet with Harry at our apartment, saying she had brought home-cooked meals and trying to come inside. Since I work in administration, I get home relatively early and was able to fend Taylor off, but her advances got worse day by day. Eventually, Harry inexplicably gave Taylor a spare key. I really don't understand. Taylor would enter our home freely, cook meals, and do Harry's laundry. She was acting like his live-in girlfriend. Please stop coming into our home uninvited. One day, having reached my limit, I yelled at Taylor. Taylor burst into tears. I'm Harry's wife. Why do I have to be interfered with? I can't stand you living with Harry when you're not even his girlfriend. This made me look like the bad guy completely. Taylor kept crying until Harry came home. When Harry arrived, she flung herself into his arms and put on a big show of sobbing. Harry looked not entirely displeased as he tried to calm Taylor down. What is this? What am I being forced to witness? Maybe I should just call off the cohabitation and move out. No, I'll trust Harry. I believe he'll choose me in the end. He's just being swayed by his ex-girlfriend right now. I won't lose to this. Despite Taylor's advances, Harry and I proceeded with our wedding preparations. The wedding was to be a grand affair, with the costs split between Harry's parents and mine. I tried on wedding dresses, thought about bouquet designs, and made my own preparations. Surely even Taylor would back off at this point. That's what I thought. Then the wedding day arrived. I went to the venue with my parents to get ready, but to my shock, Taylor was wearing the wedding dress I had chosen. Harry, let's get married. If you love me that much. Harry was walking towards Taylor with delight. I've known Harry for a long time. This is an unbelievable betrayal. To think I had my parents spend money on this farce, I was at a loss for words to apologize to them. Mom, Dad, let's go home. There's already a bride here. And it seems this is what Harry prefers. I'm sorry for involving you in this charade. I was about to leave with my parents, but my father grabbed my hand. Leave the rest to me. You go to our house. Get your things from the apartment you were living in. Just leave everything else to me. I didn't understand my father's intentions, but I followed his instructions and took a taxi. I had the taxi wait while I packed my things at the apartment, then returned to my parents' house. Being at my parents' house was comforting. Surely Taylor wouldn't follow me here. My childhood home was a place of peace. Exhausted by everything, I fell asleep on the sofa. I was woken by a noise to find my parents returning home, laughing uproariously. You were gone a while. What happened with the wedding? My mother, looking like she could barely contain her laughter, showed me a video. What? What kind of video is this? Your father got revenge for you. Just watch. You'll feel better. It was a video of Harry and Taylor's nightmarish wedding. There was no joyful atmosphere in the video. Harry was being berated by the guests. Why is the bride's name different? Didn't you say you were marrying Juliet? What's going on? Explain yourself properly. Well, there was a mistake writing the bride's name. Do you think that excuse will fly? Are you trying to blame the venue staff? You can't weasel out of this. The officiant tried to calm the angry guests confronting Harry, but it's not normal to make a mistake with the bride's name. That's why the guests were in an uproar. Afterward, the officiant somehow managed to placate the guests and tried to continue the ceremony. What dedication! However, when a video made by Harry's friends was played, the guests shouted, "Hey, what's going on? The woman is different again." Of course, there wasn't a single photo of Taylor in it. Still, the wedding proceeded. Then my father made a dashing appearance, taking the microphone. Well, congratulations to Taylor, who has become the bride in place of my daughter. It seems Harry has chosen Taylor over my daughter. Now, let me tell you all about the state of this couple. The guests murmured, wondering what this was about. Everyone was filming my father with their smartphones. First, the bride, Taylor. You have $200,000 in debt, and you're trying to get Harry and his parents to pay it off. Normally people wouldn't allow such a thing, but what is the groom thinking, not seeing through the bride's scheme? Moreover, all that debt is apparently from lavishing money on some man. Harry's mother called my daughter a player, but it seems unclear which woman is really the player here. What's more, Taylor is a popular stripper and engages in prostitution. Taylor, I wonder whose child is in your belly. Harry gasped and looked at Taylor. Taylor hung her head. As for the groom, he's an avid casino goer with $50,000 in debt himself. He was trying to get my daughter to pay it off. Apparently, he's been borrowing money from his parents to repay it, rather than doing it himself. The bride must be so happy to have such a man as her husband. My daughter, who was supposed to be here today, has been deeply hurt and has already gone home. What do you all think of this? At that point, my friends and relatives started heckling. Despicable. A debt-ridden couple, perfect for each other. You're the ones who should leave. What a farce this wedding is. Let's all go home, everyone. With that last shout, the bride's side guests started leaving en masse. Harry tried to stop them, but no one would listen. The groom's side guests confronted Harry. The video ended with the sound of Taylor's sobs echoing through the venue. That's right, it's scary to make an enemy of your father. He was the head of a detective agency, and he has his own information network. Even politicians are afraid of him. I was reminded anew of my father's power. He was now sitting at the dining table in his everyday clothes, reading the newspaper as if nothing had happened. He asked your relatives and friends to heckle and act. Everyone's on your side. Harry, his family, that woman he chose, they're all out of their minds. We, your relatives, your friends, we're all on your side. So you'll be all right. It's really fortunate this happened before you got married. It might be difficult to claim damages, but your father has gotten revenge for you properly. I shed tears. Tears of joy. My phone was flooded with concerned messages from friends and relatives. I carefully replied to each one. Harry probably won't be able to stay at his company now. Really, what was he thinking? Inviting his boss and colleagues, then changing the bride, it's outrageous. He brought this on himself. There's no room for sympathy. For a while after that, I commuted to work from my parents' house. Some colleagues at work were worried about me, but I just told them, I'm fine, don't worry. Sorry for causing concern. Then on one of my days off, Harry and his mother came to the house. My mother silently let Harry and his mother in, but didn't offer coffee and called for my father. Then, with me and my parents, and Harry and his mother all gathered, the discussion began. Could I have some coffee? Are you in any position to be asking for that? My mother rebuffed Harry's mother's request. Harry, don't you have something to say to my daughter? My father gently prompted. Harry bowed his head quickly. Juliet, I was wrong. I'm truly sorry. Please, give me another chance. I got carried away with Taylor and neglected you. It's not something that can be forgiven, but I'm really sorry. Please, marry me. I'm begging you. I've kicked Taylor out. Juliet, I'm so sorry. You're the more responsible woman after all. You're the one who's right for Harry. Please, come back. Harry and his mother were being outrageously selfish and presumptuous. I had a lot of thoughts about this. Harry, can you pay back all the money I lent you for your casino habit and to help with your debt repayment? What? Now? I don't have that kind of money anymore. Even children know you should repay what you borrow. Come on, don't be so mean. Living with you was hell. I kept telling myself I was going to be your wife, but I lost half my savings helping pay off your debts. And you never even thanked me for it. I'm so glad I didn't end up marrying you. Please go live your debt-ridden life with Taylor. Don't say that. We've known each other for like 20 years, right? Who gave their ex-girlfriend a spare key while living with me? Do you have any idea how cornered I felt? Sure, Taylor might be good at cooking and cleaning, but I'm impressed by her $200,000 debt. From now on, live happily with her. Oh, and pay back all the debt repayment costs I covered for you. This isn't a request, it's an order. An order? I know I was wrong. I regret it. So, could you maybe waive some of it? Don't spout such nonsense. It was my father who exploded at this point. His roaring voice was intimidating. Even Harry, and even I, his daughter, were silenced by its power and pressure. You made that debt yourself, didn't you? You're an adult, so handle it yourself. Don't ever count on my daughter's money again. You kicked out that Taylor woman? That should be obvious. What are you misunderstanding? If you can't live without relying on others, then live a rock-bottom life. Don't ever show your face again. Get out. Harry and his mother turned pale at my father's thundering voice. My mother stood up and urged them to leave. They left, hanging their heads dejectedly. I thanked my father. Dad, thank you. I didn't do anything. We smiled at that. Afterwards, I sent Harry the spare key to the apartment we had lived in together. It was my way of saying I never wanted to see him again. Then, an unexpected person contacted me. One day when I got home early from work, my parents were out shopping. As I was about to contact my friends and relatives again to thank them properly, I got a call from an unknown number. Since I often get calls from unknown numbers for work, I answered without thinking. How could you do this to me? I immediately recognized the wailing female voice. It was Taylor. I had a good idea of how she got my number. She probably asked Harry or someone like that. What did I do? Who is this? It's all your fault the wedding was called off. Called off. I've been kicked out of my home, how am I supposed to live now? I have debts, and I'm pregnant. I was supposed to build a life with Harry. How could you do this to me? Pay me compensation. Just give me money. Wasn't my wedding called off because of you? Do you really have any right to say these things? Aren't you being a bit shameless and unfair? You're acting like a child. What? I've been cut off from my family because of you. Your father wrote a letter to my parents. How could you do this to me? Really? My parents were my last hope, and you've cut that off too. You evil woman. You're the worst. Aren't you the evil one and the worst woman here? Am I wrong? Crying and wailing like a child, it's utterly shameful. I heard you're 40 years old. Aren't you embarrassed to keep acting like this? And you can't even apologize. Aren't you the one lacking common sense? Shut up. It's all your fault. I was supposed to marry Harry and have a perfect life. Because of you, all I'm left with is debt and a kid. It's your fault. I hung up on her because she was being so noisy. I immediately blocked her number. Then, a little while later, our home phone rang. I had a bad feeling about it. But the caller might be one of my father's friends. Since retiring as the head of the detective agency, my father's recent hobby has been going golfing with his friends. Thinking this, I answered the phone, but sure enough, it was Taylor again. Why did you hang up on me? Are you planning to just run away? You really are an evil woman. I could have hung up, but I felt I needed to settle this once and for all. You husband-stealing cat. You've ruined my life, left me with no future. Pay me compensation. You must have savings, right? Just give me money. Her words were incoherent. Still, I responded. Why should I give you my savings? Think about it calmly. Weren't you the one who interfered with Harry and me? You're trying to play the tragic heroine, but that's my role. Anyway, I'm not giving you any money. Shut up. I could come barging into your house, you know. Don't think this will end here. You'll be sorry if you make me angry. Understand? In the first place, isn't it your fault for seducing Harry? He was supposed to marry me originally. I was bewildered by her nonsensical talk. I didn't know how to block calls on our home phone. What should I do about this call? Time was just being wasted. Listen, I suffered because of you too. Aren't you going to apologize for that? At your age, can't you behave like an adult? Can't you even offer one word of apology? Can you really call yourself an adult? Besides, didn't you break up with Harry back in college? So how is it that I seduced him? Don't act so high and mighty. What right do you have to say such things to me? Just give me money. I'm sick of being chased by debt collectors. If you're that desperate for money, why don't you ask the government for help? I want an apology and money from you. Suddenly, I realized my father was behind me and he took the phone receiver from me. I'll handle this. I hadn't noticed that my parents had already come home. My mother beckoned me from the kitchen, so I went in. It's Taylor, isn't it? Leave it to him. Come help me put these in the fridge. I left the phone to my father and helped prepare for dinner. 2 hours later, my father finally hung up the phone, looking exasperated. How did it go? Well, she was ranting about various things, so I just talked about legal measures. She's quite a persistent woman. She seemed to really resent the letter I wrote to her parents. You should probably be careful for a while. Maybe we should consult with my police acquaintance. That night, I was lying in my room. My parents were in their respective rooms. Just as I was dozing off, I heard the sound of breaking glass. I jumped up and went to my mother's room first. Mom. Juliet, are you all right? It sounds like it's downstairs. I'll go check. My father, who had also rushed to my mother's room, headed downstairs. Then we heard my father's voice and a woman's voice, so my mother and I went downstairs too. What the hell? You ruined my happiness. When I got to the living room and saw the scene, I was chilled to the bone. There was a brick lying there. At the same time, one of the glass doors had been completely shattered. And there was Taylor. This was beyond reason. She seemed to have forced her way in, and my father was trying to stop Taylor's rampage while stepping on the broken glass. Call the police. This isn't normal. She's gone mad. Hurry and report this. Let go of me. I'll curse Juliet. Where's that woman who stole my happiness? My mother followed my father's order and called the police. I couldn't forgive Taylor for going this far, so I stepped on the glass and approached her. Then I slapped her with all my might. Who stole whose happiness? When I shouted at Taylor, who had received the slap, burst into violent tears. I could hear the sound of police cars approaching, and I could see neighbors gathering outside the broken glass door. After that, Taylor was pushed into a police car and taken away. My father handled the questioning from the police officers. This incident even made the news. Apparently, newspaper reporters swarmed Harry's house. We didn't sue Taylor, but we didn't help her either. Later, Taylor's parents came to apologize in person, had a contractor fix the glass, and the incident was resolved. I never thought she'd do something like that. Really, the world's gone mad. Thanks to my father being there, things worked out, but if she had come when he wasn't around, it's hard to imagine what Taylor might have done to me. It was an incident that taught me the terrifying nature of a woman's jealousy. I heard that Taylor later received a prison sentence. Harry and his parents moved far away due to the incident. To think that just being involved with Harry could lead to something like this, life really is unpredictable. After the incident, I took some time off and invited 2 friends on a trip. Of course, I covered the expenses. What? Why? Couldn't you get compensation from Harry? That's so unfair. Even with the incident of his mistress barging in. We chatted while relaxing in the spa of a luxury hotel. I'd like to claim it, but Taylor's parents gave us a large sum of money, so I think that's enough. Even if I wanted to sue, she's already in prison. And it's over now. You're so strong. But is this okay? Treating us to such a nice spa. It's fine. Let me do at least this much. I really wanted to thank our relatives who helped too, but they all refused, saying our feelings were enough. Thank you both so much. I'm going to find a better man. That's the spirit. That's right. Hey, do you know any good guys? Introduce me. We frolicked in the spa, gossiping about love with my friends. Women come alive when they fall in love. Of course, we must never become obsessed. I certainly don't want to lose myself like Taylor did, becoming fixated on marrying Harry. And so, I regained my freedom after a long time and found happiness.